We'll open it up for questions from the floor. I got a gentleman in the back of the room.
Gentlemen, my name is Francis Hammond. I've lived up here in Pine Mountain Club for about 6 years now. I'm a veteran, and the ambulance service up here gives me great concern because my nearest emergency room is Westwood, VA in LA. It's 82 miles. Every time we have a medical emergency, my roommate's also a veteran, we call in there and they say call 911, and we say, hell, we can get there before call ambulance will arrive at our house. And it's true. I had a day job in the security industry for 20 odd years, and I did a lot of consulting, and one of the things I observed as a consultant was that nobody wants to spend money for these things. We got 3,100 houses up here. That's a lot of people. We have more people living here now than I think that live in Fraser Park. So the question I have, we just had another incident last week, which was in the local paper, where all ambulance could not get here. Would not get here. Could not service this sweetheart deal that Harvey Hall apparently has with the Board of Supervisors. And it has an exclusive on this area. We have firefighters who are not trained as paramedics, unlike every other surrounding county. How many people have to die up here before you guys do something about this?
Thank you. That had to be said.
Yes.
Jeff, you want to say what you might want to do in that case?
The only solution I could think of is to build a facility here locally for everyone to use. Somehow get some grant funds to develop that facility.
Cliff, do you want to answer that?
Oh, absolutely, I want to answer that. I've talked to some of the people, and not only in the Fisher Mountain community, as Dr. Escobar refers to as, but throughout this community, the problem is access.
If you don't talk close to the mics, these mics are not scented. Yes, it is.
Thank you. I get animated with my hands, I apologize. There's actually an issue on the Board of Supervisors meeting for next Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And what we see before you is a 100-page document talking about what the Board of Supervisors is going to do. What I want to show you tonight is what you didn't see. This is a draft that came from the Kern County Fire Department to the Board of Supervisors. In this document, it says that the Kern County Fire Department is willing to give for free, put a firefighter paramedic on a 1-year program to see if it will work for free. Why is that not in the document that the Board of Supervisors is?
Ray, would you like to comment on that?
Well, I can respond to the last statement, and the reason for that is that we got that document after the board agenda was prepared. I will tell you this, that I am the one who asked this to be brought to the Board of Supervisors. I have worked with the Homeowners Association here, or the Property Owners Association, the Board of Directors, through a couple of changes of Board of Directors, tried to determine what this community wanted to do and how they wanted to take care of that issue and how we can help them take care of that issue. We have an issue that we have in Kern County right now, a ambulance service that is paid for by the users of the service. It's not paid for by the taxpayers. And the reason I asked this to be brought before the county is for the board to decide whether they want to make that an obligation of the taxpayers as opposed to the insurance companies and Medicare, Medi-Cal, who pay for the ambulance rides. If we do that, it's going to be a huge change in the cost of providing that service. And I appreciate what the fire department wants to do, and I'm delighted that they want to do that. The other half of the story, though, is you can have a paramedic on site, and if you don't have a way to transport that patient to the hospital, you are only taking care of half of the problem. And so I think we need to look at it in terms of solving the entire problem. I'm very willing to look at all of the options. I am the one that asked this to be brought to the Board of Supervisors for a decision. It's not a decision for me to make alone. There are a number of other communities besides Pine Mountain Club and Fraser Park who also are in the same position. They have 20 and 30-minute rides to get an ambulance to their communities. So it's a decision, policy decision that affects the entire county. It just doesn't affect this community. And I'm willing to face that decision.
The paramedics, as most of you, I believe, know, can only keep the people sustained. They do not transport to the hospitals. And the big problem we've got is with Hall is that Hall, in some cases, when you get a bad storm, refuses to come up here. Yes?
Mr. Watson, I'd like to know what you think of Ross Elliott's 3-page document that's attached to your agenda for next Tuesday.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm going to be looking at that agenda Sunday. I've been in Fresno all day today, working on water issues for the county of Kern, and my day to look at the agenda is Sundays. I spend my Sunday afternoons doing that. So if you have a specific question, I'll be happy to answer that.
Well, he's very negative in regard to getting us any kind of paramedic service up here, and that deeply concerns me. I would have at least expected his response, or whatever you want to call it, to kind of look at all issues. And maybe that happens in the 100-page document, which I'm printing out as I speak at home. So, certainly you had
the only thing I can tell you is
input,
that
so.
Ross Elliott is the person who analyzes the information. He is not the one who makes the decision.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, the board will make that decision.
As of tonight on Channel 29, Supervisor Maven is definitely against this. And I guess I'd like to know that we have your support.
Well, I will determine that based upon the testimony that we receive, and after having reviewed the documentation myself. The only thing I can say is that this is a multi-million-dollar decision. It's not something that you can just say, we're going to have some firemen be trained as paramedics, and that's the end of the problem. The chief, the fire chief himself, knows that you have to have training, and you have to have a system in place to operate that, and it's a multi-million-dollar process. And in times when the county is having its budget cut by $10 million based upon the governor's financial proposal, that's something we have to take into consideration, and that's what will be deliberated. But I urge you to come to the meeting on Tuesday and have your voices heard.
Gentleman in the blue shirt.
I'm not certain why the problem was addressed to these three gentlemen. The way I understand it, the problem has been around for a while. And the person right there, Mr. Watson, has been requested to fix this before. And new questions about doing this, that, or the other. The government never has problem raising money before, and that's what always comes up when a question comes up about supporting the population that pays it. Why haven't you fixed it up to now?
Well, I can tell you, for example, let's take Los Angeles County.
I don't want to know about Los Angeles County. This is
Please answer his question.
I wanted to demonstrate how they're financed in other areas. They're financed by assessments to the property owners, which is what I've discussed with the property owners.
I'm paying taxes.
Well, in
Answer his question,
other
please.
counties, it's paid for by an additional assessment for paramedic service. And that's what we're proposed
That's
here.
not
That's
true.
not true.
That's not true.
It is in Los Angeles County.